We are at the Barrett Lake Jeep Trail in the Sierra Nevadas, and it has turned from dry and dusty to wet and slippery. We're gonna head up the trail, find a place to camp, and I heard there's an airplane that crashed, and we're gonna try to hike out and find it. So come along on our adventure. The first obstacle here is the narrow gate, and we'll take you on up the trail.
Good news, Taco fits. So right at the entrance of the trail, there's some pretty big rocks. And the amazing thing is, it's pretty wet out, so Taco is not moving quite as quickly as usual.
Not 50 foot into the trail, you can still see the entrance there. There's a big tree, and due to the wet rocks, they're quite slippery. And I think after going on some really difficult trails, thought this was gonna be a cakewalk, so wasn't exactly paying attention. Got a really bad line coming up here. And so now we've got an interesting situation of the truck being really close to the tree, not where we want it. But we went ahead and filled in one of the holes to see if we can get it to not lean the body into the tree. And we're gonna see if we can make it up through here. So let's give it a try.
So we're trying to go through the tree. We're getting awfully close. Yep, it can see it. You're okay. Okay, stop. Go slow. That did it. You're farther from the body. It's on the wider edge of the slider. We're farther from the body. You're clear completely.
It's getting a little late in the afternoon, and because we found this
Beautiful
epic location to hang out, watch the sunset, and we figured there's no reason to push it. We'll just go ahead and drive the rest of the way in today.
Yep.
And so we'll continue down the trail, but it turns out this is a beautiful spot.
It's gorgeous.
And the crazy thing is, on top of this ridge, there's cell phone service. How crazy is that?
It's pretty awesome.
Super beautiful, super quiet. Has all the Sierra Nevada beauty with all the beautiful granite slab. And we had a really cool storm last night as well.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So far the Barrett Lake Trail, once we got further into it, has been pretty mild. But we've just gone through a somewhat rocky section, and there's some playing for Taco.
And there's a crazy rock crawl section up there that it looks pretty gnarly. I think maybe for a short wheelbase.
Probably true.
I think we could get in interesting spots.
About 2 miles into this trail is this really cool bridge. So it's not terribly wide compared to Taco, but the turn at the base of it is a little bit extreme. I mean, it's definitely bigger than Taco, but you gotta turn into it, so. Taco's doing just fine in the low fall here. Coming off the bridge, there's a pretty steep rock slab that's kind of a little off camber too, as you can see coming up. Taco's climbing it and headed for over there. Taco's going through a little bit of a rock garden, the top of the slab. Continuing on the trail. So I believe this trail was marked as moderate to easy, which a lot of sections are, and then it has a few that are more like this, whereas rock climb, that was Taco's truck here. That looks like it feels a bit tipsy. Taco's continuing to go down this pretty steep hill. Taco's clearance is obviously helping quite a bit. It's hard to see the steepness on the hill, but it's also pretty rutted out, which is kind of interesting because most rigs any wider than 85 3/4 inches can't actually enter on the trailhead. So these are smaller tires that are doing it. We passed some guys that probably 33s, maybe 35s on their rigs. Not too built, but they're getting through just fine. It's like we found another tree squeeze on the trail. This one's not quite so tight. We're about to go up these roots.
Man, this looks like the Northwest.
There Taco goes, no problem. So we found another rock garden. Surprisingly, there's been a lot on this trail. Taco's doing a little bit of walking here, trying to get some traction to go up this. Taco's way in there. Hey, that's your dip. Phew. This is a pretty sizable rock shelf that Taco's climbing over. Alright, so we found the S-curve, which is one of the few obstacles that's actually labeled on this trail. I think it's might be a bit of a challenge for Taco just based on the wheelbase and the length of the vehicle. It actually seems pretty rutted out too. Peter might have to back up. Don't know that he's going to go ahead and get all the way through this corner, but that's a very big rock to climb. Ooh, look, Taco's got it. Ooh. Looks a lot tipsy right now. Ooh, look at Taco flex. Muscles in the rear suspension. So the S-curve area is a bit, it's a bit rutted out. So as you can see, it's kind of a mess coming through this section, going down. There are some pretty sizable rocks. It's a pretty sharp turn. Taco did have to back up, but overall Taco did great. It's just kind of a mess with all of the, looks like mud that has been here. A little bit further up the S-curve, there's some pretty sizable rocks that Peter's trying to line up to go over. Whew, that's a bit of a climb. Taco looks like it feels a bit tipsy. Yeah! Woo! This is quite the angular thing.
The trail into Barrett Lake is a rough one, especially if you're long wheelbase. I think a short wheelbase Jeep,
Probably a little bit better.
it's probably ideal for this type of trail, but it's super technical. I would say it's more technical than the Rubicon Trail, And I like it better because it's more remote. And you have
Very
this
few people.
beautiful, look at this view.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Camping right here at the lake. And the best part is there's a trail to hike to an old plane crash.
Yep.
We're gonna go see if we can find it. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Where are you hiking to?
We're hiking to the plane crash, but we found this beautiful lake on the way, so we stopped to check it out.
Check out this lake. Perfect mountain lake. Man.
Wow, look at this weird tree.
Low bridge.
Look how deformed it is.
Wow. It's blocking our trail too.
Totally is.
Gotta really flex to get underneath that. We got up to the first ridge, and there's another lake, and it's leveled off.
Nice.
Quite a bit of
Elevation.
effort to get up here
True.
due to the higher elevation. Oh my, another lake. We
We're on the lake tour.
are hitting every lake on our way to this plane crash. I guess they crashed it in a scenic area, so that's
Very convenient.
That's nice of them. It is a bit of a distance to get in here. We did have a number of hikers that come up here that we encountered on the trail that camp at the lake. So they do a day hike up, and then they probably come up here to the crash site, and then they hike back down. So that's interesting. It's also interesting because I think it would take less time to walk up here than to drive up here.
I would agree with that. I think you could hike this much faster.
We started in the complete valley.
Yep.
And that peak looked really, really tall. I think we're at least halfway up it, and we've just come to this saddle in the mountain. So I'm guessing the crash was he didn't pull up as he was coming over the mountain. So let's find out. We're standing at the crash sites from 1966. Maybe you guys can comment if this story is correct or not, but what we read on the internet was kind of an interesting story. This plane was a Grumman S-2 aircraft from the Vietnam War days, and apparently it was flown from somewhere around Fort Orlando over here to Lake Tahoe. And the story was that the pilot went AWOL with his crew and decided to fly out here to visit his girlfriend. And somehow they didn't quite make it. So
No,
They-
sadly.
they didn't really have any explanation on why it crashed, but it crashed right by Red Peak. So you can see Red Peak is right up over there. And they were just about clear of it, but apparently went down, hit the trees, busted apart, and you can see plane parts everywhere. Here's the tail
thousands of
section of the airplane, and there's
There's a wing over there.
the prop over here. There's another wing section over here. See, there's
Pieces everywhere.
bits and pieces all over the place. There's a piece of the engine. Here's the props and the engine. And then over here is one of the wing sections. It's pretty remarkable how many big sections are still left here. I'm sure it'll last a long time though, being it's all aluminum. But pretty crazy story. We woke up this morning to a beautiful sunrise, and it was so quiet and peaceful last night. I think this lake reminds me a lot of a backpacker's lake that somehow there's a road to. So it's kind of a special treat to be able to drive into it. And also is giving some more thought to that plane crash. Maybe if you guys know about plane crashes, you can chime in, but it's kind of strange that both propellers were pretty much undamaged. Only one of them had one blade that was partly broken. It seems like if that happened, the blades would not have been spinning when it crashed, but it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. But this is such a special spot.
It really is. It's so beautiful here.
Yeah, it's really, really super crazy quiet, and we had the whole place to ourselves. So if you do come up here, make sure to leave no trace, pack everything out. If you see trash, get it out of here. Also respect any of the campfire rules and regulations depending on the time of year you come out here. And also try to stay off here when it's wet, because when it's muddy, you could see sections of the trail that kind of got tore up. So
really torn up.
You gotta pay attention to that stuff. We gotta keep these special places available. And thanks for watching our adventure. We're gonna head back out. The same way in is the road out. So we're gonna be doing the same rock crawling going back out and get out of here today. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to mention those below. Otherwise, we will catch you on the next one. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.